Brett here with Clickmill. We've been getting some questions from some of our clients, which is how do we read those reports that you send us every month for our Google Grant or our Google Ads accounts? And so in this video, I just want to give you a brief rundown on how to read some analytic data that we're going to be sending you every month. So let's just jump right in here. So now this is an example of a client account that we run. And so you'll see that this is a Google Grant. So the numbers in here are going to be relatively high, higher than you would see if you're running a normal Google Ads account. But either way, the clicks here is how many additional website visitors you're bringing into your website on a monthly basis. So these advertisements show at the top of Google, and this is how many times per month those are getting clicked. So you'll see this account has 5,800 clicks last month. Between March 23rd, 2021 and April 19th. So about a 28-day period there. And you'll see that due to optimizations and other factors, this is up 11.7% from the prior reporting period. So this is clicks. The click-through rate is 8.4%. And now what this is out of 100 people who see those advertisements on the Google search engine, what percentage are clicking? Now, generally speaking, with a Google Grant, this has to be at least 5%. Otherwise, you're going to be disqualified for the Google Grant. So continuing on here, impressions. This is how many times your ads are seen on the Google search engine. So people are scrolling. Maybe they're looking up, nonprofit near me, or homeless shelter near me, or any number of things that you could be advertising to. And this is how many times your ads have just shown up where people can see them. So they're seen, but not clicked. And so this is impression. And this is one way you can kind of think about branding. And so this organization here had almost 70,000 ads seen over the course of these 28 days. And so you'll see here clicks and click-through rate. You'll notice around April 4th here, the clicks went up. And so you can really get a lot of information about these accounts in these reports. So continuing, conversions are basically how many goals did you reach with your advertising account? And this can be a number of things depending on what your organization is trying to do. We have a lot of Christian ministries that want to grow their email lists, and this can be from people all over the world. And so a conversion can be tracked as a sign up. It can also be tracked as someone who signs up for a specific event, like join a live Bible study, or someone who signs up for a shelter information or application. Now, conversions can also be sales. So e-commerce stores, we work with a number of organizations, and these e-commerce stores will sell items on their website that are donated, and then they'll go and they'll support getting women out of the adult entertainment industry or any other number of things. And so conversions can also track sales. And so what you'll see is this organization here had 916 conversions, which was up 2% from last month. And that's quite a few. The conversion rate is 15.8%, and that is quite high. And again, this is the percentage of people who were on the website divided by the number of people who actually took action. And so that's 15.8. A fairly good conversion rate is 3 to 5% on a very broad and general view. The conversion cost here is $15. So basically, the Google Grant is paying $15 to get, with this count specifically, they're paying to get one email address, one potential person to engage with their brand. So this is actually quite good with a lot of professional industries that I've had the opportunity to work with, say wedding venues, contractors, music teachers. A lot of industries will put a benchmark around $50 a lead, and this is 15. So this Google Grant is performing very well. Now, this is one of our older clients, and so it's had time to mature. Now, going over here, cost per click. So you'll see that this grant is spending $13,740 in the last 28 days as of the date today. And this is up from the month prior, 4%. Now, one of the things to take note of, and maybe you're even asking, I thought Google Grants could only spend $10,000. Well, in certain instances, Google will actually approve your Google Grant to spend more than $10,000. And we actually had a number of accounts, I believe, spending almost $20,000 over the holiday season. And so the cost here, so you'll see the cost, and again, you'll see the cost on the graph, you'll see the green lines and the average cost per click, and they'll fluctuate. And all this data tells you a story. It tells you how to change and how to optimize and how to shift your online presence to get the best results. And this is the data that we also use internally here at Clickmill to work with you to grow your website traffic, to grow your following, to grow your online presence. So anyway, continuing on here, average cost per click. This is how much each click costs. Now, in 2020, the average cost per click across all industries was about $1.50. What we find is that most of our nonprofits, organizations, and Christian ministries are going to float between $1.50 and about $2. This is a little bit higher than most, but to give you a baseline, in a lot of third world countries, you can buy clicks for 30 cents on the dollar. In academia, you can pay $150 a click, and essentially this is because there's more profit. There's tens of thousands of dollars of profit if you get someone to sign up for college, as opposed to practically no profit if you show an ad in a third world country, presumably. And so the cost per click varies on an auction basis, and the more competitive the market is, the more you pay per click. And one of the things that we're always really encouraged about working with ministries and nonprofit is we're able to keep those costs per click quite low. Some accounts actually will be as low as $1. And what that means is if you have $10,000 a month to spend with a Google Grant, that means you're going to get 10,000 new people into your website every month. And so one of the things we're frequently watching in these accounts is, can we keep that cost per click low? How can we reduce that and increase your website traffic? Now, this is CPM, cost per mil. This really isn't that important of a stat, but it's still worth knowing. And this is, how much does it cost to reach 1,000 people with impressions? Usually Facebook ads will use something like this, but it's good to just kind of keep an eye on. Now, kind of as we finish up here, these are the top campaigns. Now, these are organized in terms of spend. And one of the important metrics that we want to track with at least a Google Grant is, how's it spending? You have $10,000 a month, and it's just gone if you don't spend it. And so this is where we're trying to optimize, see what's working, see what we can continue adding with your organization. And so you'll see this national website traffic is spending $5,600, this one advertising campaign. Now, there are multiple groups of ads within this. And what I can tell you here, to give some context, at least with this account, this is a Christian ministry, and this ministry has a very well-known worship team that is asked to travel around the country fairly frequently. And so when you look at these conversions, a lot of these conversions and a lot of the ad spend is right here, and it has to do with people looking into that ministry team saying, do I want to have them invite them out to a conference or to something else? So you can kind of get context as you look at this. Anyway, continuing on here, this is the device breakdown, and this will tell you a lot about who your audience is. And so you'll see the computers are in red. So people accessing your website through the advertisements is in red, and you'll see that the mobile devices, cell phones, are in blue, and tablets are in orange. Now, tablets are almost always in the vast minority of devices. People really just do not use tablets like you would think, and that's reflected here. So that's not unusual, but the computers is 42%, devices are about 54%, and this is of clicks. So people visiting the website are primarily using, 54% are using mobile devices. Now, if you come over here, computers are taking the majority of the cost. So these cost per click on computers are actually higher. So what you'll see is computers are getting 40% of the traffic, but they're spending 55% of the budget. So what that would tell someone like myself is that there are higher cost per clicks, average cost per clicks on computer, because those ad spaces are more desirable. Well, why is that? Well, if we're looking to, say, book tours of a popular worship band, do you do that from your phone or do you do that from a computer? And the answer is probably someone sitting in an office on a computer planning some kind of event. And what we would expect to see is that people signing up are probably going to be doing so on computers more often. And when we come right here to conversions, that's exactly what we see. The conversions, the people signing up are doing so from computers 66% of the time, and 29% from mobile. And so this hopefully just gives you some context and a little bit of training on how to read your Google ads or your Google ad grant report that we send you every month. If you would like to schedule your monthly call, please feel free to do so with the link here in the email. And lastly, we do all kinds of training. We've been getting more and more requests for how do we read analytic data? How do we organize our website? It's called user experience design. How do we organize on our website in such a way that people actually sign up? We can put thousands of people into your website a month, but if the website isn't set up properly, then that can diminish results. And if you're interested in training or just additional knowledge on how to grow your online presence, we would love to talk with you about that too, see where you're at, and just continue to build that relationship. So again, thank you for working here with Clickmill, and look forward to talking to you in our monthly strategy call. Have a great day.